And then night had fallen. In the forest I stood, all by myself. The dome-like sky, the wooden house, the clearing filled with the scent of wild flowers and grass. All those were gone. Nothing but the forest remained, like it had always been. Oh, I did remember. I would remember. If I ever saw
请
her
向那
again.
孩子微笑着打招呼我。
And that would be the end of the main story. And everyone else is playing Warframe. That was a pretty intense chapter. And now I will move on to decoding the story. That chapter took it out of me a little. As some of you may or may not have noticed, I have played this game before, which is why all of the planes are already there. But when I tried to start a new game, for whatever reason they kept all of them there. So, but I haven't played in quite a while, so this is kind of renewing it all for me. No, I'm not going to skip to the end. Chapter 1. – 2004, Tangerine, 6-year-old. Bright blue sky, a summer full of bright sunshine. Today, my big brother would come back from town. I jumped up and ran to the door. Mummy was making breakfast. The wonderful smell of congee made from the new rice crop filled the room. I had looked forward to it all this time. The figure emerged and slowly became clear. But I wasn't one to wait. I ran up to him. Although he only stayed here during summer vacations, I couldn't be happier when my big brother was around. Normally, I had only been the one to sleep in, but when big brother came to sleep, I always got up early just to wake him up. He would protest and blink sleepily whilst I dragged him out of bed to play. Play? What's there to play? That's what he always said. But in the end, he always gave in and played with me. We skipped rubber bands, I skipped, he just held it. We threw beanbags, I threw, he picked them up for me. And together we went for adventures far into the woods. Well, not that far. The adults didn't actually want us to go into the woods, but Big Brother promised it would be alright. I could count on him, and that had been the coolest thing I knew. All the talk of tigers, wolves, and bears was a bit scary though. He kept saying, "If you don't walk faster, I'll leave you here, I promise," but he never let go of my hand. The palm of his was warm. That day, we discovered a place we had never been. It was like a wild clearing, suddenly emerged out of nowhere, with green grass and colourful wild flowers. It smelled wonderful too. In the middle of the clearing, there was a little house, just like in the fairy tales. Isn't that Jasmine's house? I was overjoyed, dragging him along. I ran up to it. That was when she appeared before us. The whitey-white fairy. Big-eyed, long hair, wide straw hat, light dress, as pretty as a dream. Had I met her somewhere before? A long, long time ago. She told us her name, Jasmine. What a beautiful name. And she knew our names as well. It was like magic. Would we play together? Jasmine asked. Of course we would. Right? My big brother was somewhat worried at first. He wouldn't let go of my hand, but after a while, we all had a lot of fun together. Jasmine was a bit older than brother. She had a soft, beautiful smile. But when we ran around the little house, she would just sit quietly, looking at us, smiling. Wouldn't Jasmine play hide and seek with us? I shook her arms. I wanted her to play with us
姐姐不
so
太擅长运
bad.
动哟。
Looking a bit embarrassed, Jasmine blushed.
这样好了，我们来折
She
纸飞
clapped
机
her
吧。
hands. It was a long, long time ago, a summer full of bright sunshine. In the blue sky, a white paper plane slid through in the wind.
哇哇，好厉害！
Jasmine's plane flew far. I ran to pick it up. My brother looked like he hated to admit defeat. I laughed and patted him on the head. Actually, his plane was not bad at all. Look, I just brought it back together with Jasmine's. Let's try again, won't we? Fight, Jasmine. Fight, big brother. Then I noticed the sky. The sun was already going down. We had to go home or Mummy and Daddy would be really upset. But I wasn't ready to say goodbye yet. See you tomorrow. Jasmine waved at us. For some reason, she looked lost to me. And then, Jasmine took my arm gently. She whispered into my ear. I couldn't see the look on her face, but I would never forget what she said. The words were as soft as a breeze. There was a hint of sadness and loneliness. Nevertheless, as gentle as
一
ever.
定不要离开哥哥的身边哦。
The sad music returns. The day was so hot. Air was sticky and stifling. I was in no mood for studying at all. But with homework unfinished, I simply couldn't go out. Jasmine must be waiting for us. Jasmine told me, always stay with my big brother. Of course, we'd be together every day. Hee hee. Right, I got an idea.
哥，教我写作业吧。
Nope. Why? Do your own homework already.
人家写不完啦。
I need to sleep.
可是写不完的话就不能出去玩。茉莉，
Give it to me.
果然哥哥最好啦。
That voice is utterly adorable. Hand in hand, we ran on the pathway leading to the hills. So hot, Jasmine must be waiting. path winded its way through the woods. Come to think of it, we didn't even know where she lived. The sound of shuffling paper came from my pocket. I decided to ask her about it today, and to learn from her how to make paper planes. A drop of cool water hit my cheek. We stopped. Not rain, please. At that exact moment, fat raindrops started to fall in full fury. That's some heavy raindrop. And there was the thunder. I threw myself to my big brother. Ha! He pulled his shirt over my head, and half dragging me along, we began to run.
茉莉姐姐那边，怎么办啊？
The pouring rain drowned out my words. He couldn't answer me. He just took my hand and ran in the direction of home. In the end, he caught a cold. Started to sneeze the moment we reached home. Even developed a fever. It was all my fault. I felt sorry for him. I wanted to be responsible and take care of him. Imitating what Mum would do, I soaked the towel and put it on his forehead. Hey, would you like some water? Or something to eat? Mummy made congee. Don't kick off the blanket. Be a good boy, alright? I wished with all my heart that my big brother would get better. Soon. Look at his sleeping face. Calmed me. Yet, I felt a bit disturbed. It was like I had forgotten something important. The rain was pouring outside, hitting the leaves in the garden, making noises. He was in bed, face burnt red with fever. He was a healthy boy, yet he caught a bad cold. Then what about... For a moment I remembered Jasmine. Was she waiting there by herself? Did she have an umbrella? Where could she stay to get out of the rain? Would she wait there without knowing he was ill? I remembered the lonesome look on her face when she said goodbye last night. I just couldn't stay here any longer. I said to him. He was half asleep. I took the umbrella from behind the door. For a short while, I had forgotten what she said. Please stay by his side. Always. I only understood what she really meant a very, very long time after that. Rain was pouring down, forming puddles on the road. It took all of my strength to keep the balance of the umbrella. I ran to the place where we had promised to meet. There was nothing special in my mind. I just wanted to bring her an umbrella and tell her that my big brother couldn't come today. That was all. Almost slipped in a puddle. Strange, we were here yesterday, but I was starting to get lost. There was a touch of white in the distance. On the other side of the rain, I could see Jasmine. Alone, and she didn't have an umbrella with her. I waved at her, but she did not seem to notice. Alright, I'll just run to her then. I needed to give her the umbrella. I stepped out, water splashed in the rain. Jasmine's figure became clearer and clearer when she finally looked up. She looked as she was surprised. That was when I slipped and floated, as if stepping into a vacuum. The moment I fell, a dark river came into sight, rushing forward in a torrent.